Part 4. Maxims and interludes. He who is a teacher from the very heart takes all things seriously only with reference to his students, even himself. Knowledge for its own sake. This is the last snare set by morality. One therewith gets completely entangled with it once more. The charm of knowledge would be small if so much shame did not have to be overcome on the road to it. One is most dishonest towards one's God. He is not permitted to sin. The inclination to disparage himself, to let himself be robbed, lied to and exploited, could be the self-effacement of a god among men. Love of one is a piece of barbarism, for it is practiced at the expense of all others. Love of God likewise. I have done that, says my memory. I cannot have done that, says my pride, and remains adamant. At last memory yields. One has been a bad spectator of life, if one has not also seen the hand that in a considerate fashion kills. If one has character, one also has one's typical experience, which recurs again and again. The sage as astronomer. As long as you still feel the stars as being something, over you still lack the eye of the man of knowledge. It is not the strength, but the duration of exalted sensations, which makes exalted men. He who attains his ideal, by that very fact transcends it. Many a peacock hides his peacock tail from all eyes, and calls it his pride. A man with genius is unendurable if he does not also possess at least two other things, gratitude and cleanliness. The degree and kind of a man's sexuality reaches up into the topmost summit of his spirit. Under conditions of peace, the warlike man attacks himself. With one's principles one seeks to tyrannize over one's habits, or to justify or honor or scold, or conceal them. Two people with the same principles probably seek something fundamentally different with them. He who despises himself still nonetheless respects himself as one who despises. A soul which knows it is loved, but does not itself love betrays its dregs. Its lowest part comes up. A thing explained is a thing we have no further concern with. What did that God mean who counseled, "Know thyself"? Does that perhaps mean, have no further concern with thyself? Become objective, and Socrates, and the man of science. It is dreadful to die of thirst in the sea. Do you have to salt your truth so much that it can no longer even quench thirst? Pity for all would be harshness and tyranny for you, my neighbor. Instinct, when the house burns down one forgets even one's dinner. Yes, but one retrieves it from the ashes. Woman learns how to hate to the extent that she unlearns how to charm. The same emotions in man and woman are, however, different in tempo. Therefore man and woman never cease to misunderstand one another. Behind all their personal vanity women themselves always have their impersonal contempt for woman. Bound heart, free spirit. If one binds one's heart firmly and imprisons it, one can allow one's spirit many liberties. I have said that before. But no one believes it if he does not already know it. One begins to mistrust very clever people when they become embarrassed. Terrible experiences make one wonder whether he who experiences them is not something terrible. Heavy, melancholy people grow lighter through precisely that which makes others heavy, through hatred and love, and for a while they rise to their surface. So cold, so icy one burns one's fingers on him. Every hand that grasps him starts back. And for just that reason many think he is glowing hot. Who has not, or the sake of his reputation, sacrificed himself? There is no hatred for men in geniality, but for just that reason all too much contempt for men. Mar your manhood. That means to have rediscovered the seriousness one had as a child at play. To be ashamed of one's immorality. That is a step on the ladder at the end of which one is also ashamed of one's morality. One ought to depart from life, as Odysseus departed from Nausicaa, blessing rather than in love with it. What? A great man. I always see only the actor of his own ideal. If one trains one's conscience, it will kiss us as it bites. The disappointed man speaks. I listened for an echo, and I heard only praise. Before ourselves, we all pose as being simpler than we are. Thus do we take a rest from our fellow men. Today, a man of knowledge might easily feel as if he were God become animal. To discover he is loved in return ought really to disenchant the lover with the beloved. What? She is so modest as to love even you. Or so stupid. Or the danger in happiness. Now everything is turning out well for me. Now I love every destiny who would like to be my destiny. It is not their love for men, but the impotence of their love for men which hinders the Christians of today from burning us. The free spirit, the pious man of knowledge, finds Pia Fraus even more offensive to his taste, to his kind of piety, than Impia Fraus. Hence the profound lack of understanding of the church typical of the free spirit, his kind of unfreedom. By means of music, the passions enjoy themselves. To close your ears to even the best counterargument once the decision has been taken, sign of a strong character. Thus an occasional will to stupidity. There are no moral phenomena at all, only a moral interpretation of phenomena. The criminal is often enough not equal to his deed. He disparages and slanders it. A criminal's lawyers are seldom artists enough to turn the beautiful terribleness of the deed to the advantage of him who did it. Our vanity is hardest to wound precisely when our pride has just been wounded. He who feels predestined to regard and not believe finds all believers too noisy and importunate. He rebuffs them. You want to make him interested in you. Then pretend to be embarrassed in his presence. The tremendous expectation in regard to sexual love and the shame involved in this expectation distorts all a woman's perspectives from the start. Where neither love nor hate is in the game, a woman is a mediocre player. The great epics of our life are the occasions when we gain the courage to rebaptize our evil qualities as our best qualities. The will to overcome an emotion is ultimately only the will of another emotion or of several others. There is an innocence in admiration. He has it to whom it has not yet occurred that he too could one day be admired. Disgust with dirt can be so great that it prevents us from cleaning ourselves, from justifying ourselves. Sensuality often makes love grow too quickly, so that the root remains weak and is easy to pull out. It was a piece of subtle refinement that God learned Greek when he wanted to become a writer, and that he did not learn it better. To enjoy praise is with some people only politeness of the heart, and precisely the opposite of vanity of the spirit. Even concubinage has been corrupted by marriage. He who rejoices even at the stake triumphs not over pain, but at the fact that he feels no pain where he had expected to feel it. A parable. When we have to change our opinion about someone, we hold the inconvenience he has therewith caused us greatly to his discredit. A people is a detour of nature to get to 6 or 7 great men. Yes, and then to get round them. Science offends the modesty of all genuine women. They feel as if one were trying to look under their skin, or worse, under their clothes and finery. The more abstract the truth you want to teach, the more you must seduce the senses to it. The devil has the widest perspectives for God, and that is why he keeps so far away from him, the devil being the oldest friend of knowledge. What a person is begins to betray itself when his talent declines, when he ceases to show what he can do. Talent is also finery. Finery is also a hiding place. The sexes deceive themselves about one another, the reason being that fundamentally they love and honor only themselves, or their own ideal, to express it more pleasantly. Thus man wants woman to be peaceful, but woman is essentially unpeaceful, like the cat, however well she may have trained herself to present an appearance of peace. One is punished most for one's virtues. He who does not know how to find the road to his ideal lives more frivolously and impudently than the man without an ideal. All credibility, all good conscience, all evidence of truth comes only from the senses. Pharisaism is not degeneration in a good man. A good part of it is rather the condition of all being good. One seeks a midwife for his thoughts, another someone to whom he can be a midwife. Thus originates a good conversation. When one has dealings with scholars and artists, it is easy to miscalculate in opposite directions. Behind a remarkable scholar, one not infrequently finds a mediocre man, and behind a mediocre artist, often a very remarkable man. What we do in dreams, we also do when we are awake. We invent and fabricate the person with whom we associate and immediately forget we have done so. In revenge, and in love, woman is more barbarous than man. Counsel as conundrum: if the bonds are not to burst, you must try to cut them first. The belly is the reason man does not so easily take himself for a god. The chastest expression I have ever heard: dans le véritable amour c'est l'âme qui enveloppe le corps. Our vanity would have just that which we do best count as that which is hardest for us. The origin of many a morality. When a woman has scholarly inclinations, there is usually something wrong with her sexuality. Unfruitfulness itself disposes one to a certain masculinity of taste, for man is, if I may be allowed to say so, the unfruitful animal. Comparing man and woman in general, one may say, woman would not have the genius for finery if she did not have the instinct for the secondary role. He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And when you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. From old Florentine novels, moreover, from life. Buona femmina e mala femmina vu al bastone. Sacchetti, Nov. 86. To seduce one's neighbor to a good opinion, and afterwards faithfully to believe in this good opinion of one's neighbor. Who can do this trick as well as women? That which an age feels to be evil is usually an untimely after-echo of that which was formerly felt to be good, the atavism of an older ideal. Around the hero, everything becomes a tragedy, around the demigod a satyr play, and around God everything becomes, what? Perhaps a world. It is not enough to possess a talent. One must also possess your permission to possess it, my friends. Where the tree of knowledge stands is always paradise. Thus speak the oldest and youngest serpents. That which is done out of love always takes place beyond good and evil. Objection, evasion, happy distrust, pleasure in mockery are signs of health. Everything unconditional belongs in pathology. The sense of the tragic increases and diminishes with sensuality. Madness is something rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, peoples, ages it is the rule. The thought of suicide is a powerful solace. By means of it one gets through many a bad night. To our strongest drive, the tyrant in us, not only our reason but also our conscience submits. One has to requite good and ill, but why to precisely the person who did us good or ill? One no longer loves one's knowledge enough when one has communicated it. Poets behave impudently towards their experiences. They exploit them. Our neighbor is not our neighbor, but our neighbor's neighbor. Thus thinks every people. Love brings to light the exalted and concealed qualities of a lover. What is rare and exceptional in him? To that extent, it can easily deceive as to what is normal in him. Jesus said to his Jews, "The law was made for servants love God as I love him, as his son." What have we sons of God to do with morality? Concerning every party, a shepherd always has need of a bellwether, or he must himself occasionally be one. You may lie with your mouth, but with the mouth you make as you do so you none the less tell the truth. With hard men intimacy is a thing of shame, and something precious. Christianity gave Eros poison to drink. He did not die of it, to be sure, but degenerated into vice. To talk about oneself, a great deal can also be a means of concealing oneself. In praise, there is more importunity than in blame. Pity in a man of knowledge seems almost ludicrous, like sensitive hands on a cyclops. From love of man, one sometimes embraces anyone, because one cannot embrace everyone, but one must never let this anyone know it. One does not hate so long as one continues to rate low, but only when one has come to rate equal or higher. You utilitarians, you too love everything useful only as a vehicle of your inclinations. You too really find the noise of its wheels intolerable. Ultimately one loves one's desires, and not that which is desired. The vanity of others offends our taste only when it offends our vanity. Perhaps no one has ever been sufficiently truthful about what truthfulness is. Clever people are not credited with their follies. What a deprivation of human rights. The consequences of our actions take us by the scruff of the neck, altogether indifferent to the fact that we have improved in the meantime. There is an innocence in lying which is the sign of good faith in a cause. It is inhuman to bless where one is cursed. The familiarity of the superior embitters, because it may not be returned. Not that you lied to me, but that I no longer believe you. That is what has distressed me. There is a wild spirit of good-naturedness which looks like malice. I do not like it. Why? I am not up to it. Has anyone ever answered like that?